Hey, lovely people, a pleasant evening to everybody. Now, lovely people, I'm seeing something here on the Jamaica Observer's site. It says government ordered to pay $120 million to man imprisoned 50 years without trial. I think I remember this situation here. And he really was in a horrible, horrible condition, a horrible state. Even the picture they have of him now isn't that great, but let us look and let's hear your 2 cents about this. It says Kingston, Jamaica. The Supreme Court of Jamaica has ordered that the state pay $120 million to George Williams. Yes, the man who spent 50 years in prison and 42 years, I guess, out of that 50 years without a review. Mighty God. The judgment was handed down by Judge Sonia Wynne Blair a few moments ago. Oh my God. I'm reading this, people. I'm so sorry. Williams is to receive $42 million for vindicatory damages and close to $79 million for compensatory damages. You know, I wish they would put a money figure to people who have done us wrong, my wonderful people. You know, for those who are, the pure-hearted people. I mean, we're not perfect. We are all flawed and we have all sinned and done wrong. But I'm talking about people who don't deliberately seek out to do evil to people. You know, we wish there was a monetary compensation package put away for us from these people who have done us wrong. You know, it's as I read this, I felt like just, making making a link, or a comparison to people who have been mistreated for many years. I mean, this situation, being imprisoned, being incarcerated here, where your freedom, your physical body's freedom, and your mental and psychological and emotional freedom was taken away. It perhaps cannot be compared because he could not move as how he wanted to move. But sometimes some of us on a day-to-day basis, the mental turmoil, the emotional turmoil, the psychological or the physical turmoil that we face, it is astronomical, it is unbelievable that you would not even want the worst person on earth or the worst enemy to undergo such horrid and horrible treatment. So Williams is to receive $42 million for vindicatory. When I say that word vindication, it brings joy to my heart because many of us we're just waiting to be vindicated by God for the evil that some people have done to us. So Williams is to receive $42 million for vindicatory damages and close to $79 million for compensatory damages. In my opinion, I think what they should do, because this is an elderly man, I'm not sure what his faculty is like, and if he has a family member, a friend, or executor, somebody who means him well, to come and just make him buy a decent house for him, so that, that house can be passed down to, the next generation and so on, and that he just lives a comfortable life. That he gets anything that he wants, food-wise, goes where he wants to go, take a few trips. He spent 40 years in prison, and this must be an elderly man. Just put up some of the money on some reliable investment, and let's let him live off the rest and enjoy, because you don't know how long he will have. 50 years incarcerated. Lord, you know what I mean? And boy, make it seem like when Thing there was in there for 26, 27 years, Nelson Mandela, he wasn't in prison. 50 years. I don't even know. I mean, longer than I'm on the planet. I don't even know what to say in a situation like that when I really think about it. That is beyond cruelty. It's beyond inhumane. And no amount of money will get back his 50 years. But it can make a down payment. It can make a down payment, using Les Brown's terminology. I want him to just go some nice hotel and relax. Go somewhere nice. Don't squander everything because you don't want to be ridiculous. Get a nice house out of it. A nice house. I'm not even mentioning a car, because next thing somebody can get and just mash it up and whatever it is. Maybe get a nice like a car, yes, out of it. 50 years. See the man, 5 years ago, Williams, who is now 76 years old, walked out of prison as a free man 5 years ago. So he came out when he was 71. He's now 70. He passed 3 scores and 10. Him can't just go on till God say come home. Hope him give him life to Christ Jesus. 5 years ago when he was 71, when he barely passed 3 scores and 10, he came out of prison. Yeah. Just gave a nice little house so that when he eventually passes, his child, if he has any, or children or whatever it is, can, just get the place. Don't squander that money. Please put some money in investment. Make a right person handle his money so that it is not squandered. When he was 20 years old, he was arrested and charged with the murder of a man in July 1970. Mighty God. Long before me born. He was declared unfit to plead, but was still held in prison. What constituted him being unfit to plead? Is it that they needed somebody they knew of high ranking that actually did the murder, and they just needed to pin it on somebody, and they looked at somebody who was seemingly maybe challenged or defective in some way, maybe mentally, or so on? Why would he have been unfit to plead? Even if he was autistic or mentally challenged, why would he be unfit to plead? But was still held in prison. And the article finishes that way. I don't even remember the entire story, and I can't even bother to go and dig up that entire situation and saga. 50 years, more than a lifetime. They say 25 years upwards is a lifetime, so he would have doubled that 25 years. And at 20 years old, he was arrested and charged for murder. And it was said that he was unfit to plead, but still held in prison. At no point in time somebody sees this fella and say, no man, what's going on? At no point in time did he cry out and say, I'm innocent. Put me before a judge. No, but the whole of the judiciary system at fault. Because how did he go unnoticed for so many years? I cannot fathom it. And not comprehending a situation like that. The man's freedom, the man has not, most of his life was spent incarcerated. Most of his life, thus far, was spent incarcerated. The only way most of his life will not be spent incarcerated, he would have to live to be 100 and at least 20 years of age. So the first 20 years, and then you just start to count 30, then another 20. So that he would supersede the 50 years of being incarcerated unfairly, unjustly. The state needs to pay him, and I hope you guys pay him. Don't wait. In one sweep he needs to be paid. Not in portions. I know that's how they're probably going to do it. Let the man get a decent house. Let him get some money, change him clothes, enjoy life fully in him latter days. If him have a little health and little agility of some sort, I want him to enjoy it. Him done past 3 scores and 10, and nothing for him. The only money if you put on for to just keep them can buy food, shelter. They go for food, shelter, and clothing, the 3 basic needs. Just I hope they buy a decent house out of it for him. As I said, that when he eventually passes, the descendants can get it. And then he just enjoys the money. Just put down some money on an investment, so to keep him, and if again the descendants can get it. And somebody manages that money well. What a sad state of affairs when I think about it. 50 years incarcerated, and then said unfit to plead at age 20. That's so evil and wicked and sinister and malevolent. But one thing with God, justice prevails. Guys, you know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of those lions. Thank you.